Every human being has a weak point, but the most dangerous are those who know how to hide it, and the most powerful are those who have neutralized it completely. Machiavelli didn't write for dreamers. He wrote for those who decided to see the world as it is, raw, unpredictable, selfish, and deeply strategic. In that world, it's not the one who shouts loudest who wins. It's the one who calculates in silence, who masters the game without being noticed. Do you want to dominate any situation? Be that figure who imposes presence without speaking, who disarms with a look and never loses control. Then engrave these 5 rules. They're not comfortable, they're not pretty, they're real, and that's why they work. The first rule dominates silence. Silence is not emptiness, it's concentrated power. It's the language of those who don't need to prove anything. While others speak without thinking, you observe. While they rush to fill spaces, you let them fall into their own anxiety. Well-used silence confuses, unsettles, disturbs, and when it's intentional, it disarms. You're not quiet from lack of answers. You're quiet because you know that whoever waits controls. Whoever speaks on impulse exposes themselves. Whoever keeps silent protects themselves, and whoever protects themselves dominates. Second rule, don't react on impulse. Emotion is natural, but unfiltered reaction is weakness. Whoever reacts quickly obeys. Whoever responds calmly chooses. Machiavelli understood it. Whoever lets themselves be dragged by their rage loses the advantage before starting. The world will provoke you. People will seek to break your center, not because they hate you, but because they want to control you. But you are not an emotional slave. You observe, breathe, and respond when the moment is perfect. 2 seconds of pause can change the outcome of an entire battle. Third rule, make others reveal themselves before showing yourself. Power is not in shouting who you are. It's in making the other undress while you remain wrapped in mystery. It's not lying, it's protection. It's not coldness, it's emotional strategy. Machiavelli taught that excessive exposure makes you vulnerable, and in this game, vulnerability is an invitation to attack. Let them talk, let them confide, let them think they have you figured out. Meanwhile, you're reading them, and when you know what moves someone, you know how to stop them. Fourth rule, never enter battle without advantage. Not every conflict deserves your energy. Not every provocation deserves response. Impulse shouts, act now. Strategy whispers, wait. Machiavelli made it clear, true power doesn't launch without having the terrain secured. Whoever rushes falls, whoever waits builds. You're not here to prove you're strong. You're here to win without wearing yourself out. Observe, calculate, let the other get confident, and when they lower their guard, act with precision. One cold action can erase 1,000 impulsive acts. Fifth rule, control the narrative. It doesn't always matter what you do. What matters is how they interpret it, how you tell it, how others perceive it. Machiavelli knew that perception is more powerful than truth because most people don't think, they react. So you must mold what the other sees with gestures, with measured words, with intentions hidden beneath smiles that explain nothing. It's not about lying, it's about directing attention, about planting doubts, about projecting strength even in silence. You don't give explanations, you give images and let others build the myth that suits you. Most people don't want the truth, they want certainties. They want firm figures to admire or fear. And you can be both, as long as you don't seek approval, but respect. Machiavelli said it, it's better to be feared than loved if you can't be both. Controlled fear generates order, limitless love, abuse. Don't fear harshness, don't fear coldness. Sometimes being distant is the only way to be respected. You're not here to be liked by everyone. You're here so that no one dares underestimate you. The essence of dominance. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Not everyone knows how to care for what others feel. Every time you reveal too much, you weaken yourself, not because of your truth, but because of the ground where you planted it. Machiavelli knew it. Showing all your cards is inviting them to be used against you. Emotional strategy requires filters, and the first is silence. Stay quiet more, observe more, and before opening your soul, ask yourself, has this person proven they deserve it? Because protecting your intimacy is also an act of power. When you don't react as expected, you break the pattern. And when you break the pattern, you control the rhythm of the game. Most people act by reflex. An offensive word, and they jump a provocation and they shout. You don't. You breathe, you pause and ask, is it worth it? Does it serve me? And if not, you simply don't enter, because whoever chooses their battles already has half won. Don't confuse passivity with coldness. Don't confuse distance with insensitivity. There are those who believe being calm is being disconnected, but you know the truth. Being calm is being prepared. Machiavelli said it, true power is not exhibited. It's kept, it's measured, it's waited for. You don't have to prove anything. You just have to know when to speak and when to make your silence speak for you. Because when you choose the moment, the tone and the impact, you're no longer playing the other's game. You're creating yours, the silence that transmits power. There are moments when silence is not calm. It's a declaration of power. Because when you choose not to respond, you're saying, you don't deserve my energy. You're not worth my reaction. I won't play on your field. That makes them uncomfortable, that unsettles, that imposes. The wise don't always win by force, often they win by omission. Let the other exhaust themselves trying to provoke a response. Let them shout, accuse, pressure, and you watch from above. Immovable, serene, because whoever masters their reaction already has control of the board, controlled emotion, concentrated power. Many people's mistake, believing that intensity demonstrates love, but intensity without control is chaos, and chaos in strategy is weakness. It's not about extinguishing what you feel, it's about choosing when to use it, how and if it really suits to show it. Machiavelli didn't teach repression, he taught channeling. Contained emotion is concentrated energy, and well-directed energy transforms. So, don't blame yourself for feeling. Only blame yourself if you let that feeling drag you. Power is not feeling, it's feeling and deciding equally. When you know your emotions, you stop fearing them, and when you stop fearing them, no one else can use them against you. Machiavelli said it without adornments. Whoever dominates their inner world has already won half the war. The other half is observing the others, what moves them, what irritates them, what scares them. You don't need to attack them, you just need to know it. Because strategic knowledge doesn't always serve to act, sometimes just to choose not to do it. And that choice is also power. Imposing respect silently. Many want to be respected, few know how to impose respect. It's not imposed by shouting or forcing, it's imposed by projecting internal firmness. It's not about appearing invincible, it's about being it in your emotional center. True respect arises when others sense they can't break you, that there's something in you that doesn't move, even if everything around trembles. That imposes, that attracts, that protects. And to achieve it, you only need one thing, coherence with yourself. Not everyone deserves an explanation. Not everyone deserves access to your energy. Every time you justify what you do, you lose control. And power never explains itself, it exercises itself. Machiavelli understood it. Don't seek to be understood, seek to be respected. And for that, you don't need to be accepted. You just need to be clear with yourself, with your limits, with your rules. Speak less, act more. Because the true strategist doesn't need to convince, he just needs to decide. When you choose who you talk to, you're also deciding who can affect you. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world, not because you're arrogant, but because you're strategic. Every word you give away is a clue. Every sincere gesture can become a weapon in wrong hands. Machiavelli knew it. It's not wise to stay quiet from fear, but to reserve yourself from consciousness. Learn to speak less, to listen more, and to discern better. The information you keep protects you. What you give away without filter exposes you. The mastery of reaction. Many react, few analyze. Reaction is instinct. Analysis is power. Every time someone provokes you, you have two options. Respond from impulse or from strategy. Machiavelli didn't teach attacking. He taught observing, seeing the entire board, understanding that rage blinds, that urgency betrays, and that whoever acts without thinking ends up serving others' plans. Breathe, think, decide, and do it without the other noticing, because silent movement is what impacts most. Have you ever wondered why some people impose respect without raising their voice? It's because they project something internal, something that can't be faked. Emotional authority, that calm that can't be negotiated, that center that doesn't move, that firmness that needs no justification. Machiavelli understood it. True power is not shown, it's perceived, and when it's present, others feel it, sense it, respect it, even if they don't know why. That's not trained in appearance, it's built inside, the internal battle and silent victory. The real war is not always external, it's emotional, and it's fought every time someone provokes you and you decide not to enter. Every time chaos surrounds you and you choose to maintain control, that's dominance, that's silent strength. Machiavelli didn't talk about fighting for fighting, he talked about choosing the battle and preparing to win it without exposing yourself. Whoever falls for every provocation loses respect. Whoever chooses their fights gains authority, because not everything deserves your reaction and not everyone deserves your attention. There's a moment when you understand that controlling your emotions is not repressing yourself. It's freeing yourself from being a reflection of the other, from living at the mercy of what they do, from having to prove something all the time. When you choose not to react, you're not avoiding the fight. You're gaining time, you're gaining power. Machiavelli knew it. Whoever moves with calculation has more power than whoever acts with rage. And that power is yours if you decide not to yield it, not from fear, not from pride, not from need. There are battles that are won before beginning, and others that are lost by not knowing how to wait. Machiavelli said it clearly. Don't face the enemy until you have all advantages in your favor. That's not cowardice, it's wisdom. Whoever acts on impulse stumbles. Whoever waits for the right moment wins without raising their voice. You don't need noise, you need precision. And for that, you must learn to contain yourself, to observe in silence, to calculate with coldness, because one well-chosen action is worth more than 100 desperate responses. The ego trap and respect supremacy. Have you ever felt the need to prove your worth? That urgency to prove you're right, that you deserve respect, that you're not weak. That's ego, and ego is your enemy's best ally. Machiavelli understood that true power doesn't need explanations. When you know what you're worth, you don't beg for validation. When you know your strategy, you don't need to justify your decisions. Stay quiet, act, and let your results speak, because real respect is not demanded, it's imposed. The strategist doesn't rush. The strategist provokes without exposing himself. Sometimes the most effective way to know the other is to plant silence, wait, and see what impatience reveals. Machiavelli didn't need to force confessions. He knew that time shows everything. If you have patience, truth comes alone and comes without need to shout. Learn to create that uncomfortable space where the other shows themselves without you asking. It's in that pause where power is revealed. Most people want to have control of situations, but few understand that true control is internal. Machiavelli taught it. Whoever dominates their interior already dominates half of any game. You can prepare, read, analyze, but if you can't control your reactions, you'll always be in others' hands. Strategy doesn't start in the plan, it starts in the pulse, in breathing, in the pause. Only there do you decide with clarity. Only there are you truly free. Not all attacks deserve defense. Not all offenses need response. Machiavelli knew that the wise choose their words like an archer chooses arrows, with intention, with precision, and only when it's worth it. Don't lower yourself to useless discussions. Don't give power to whoever seeks to steal your center, because sometimes silence is the most powerful response, not because you can't speak, but because you don't need to. That's emotional dominance. That's silent respect. When you decide not to enter others' chaos, you become something they can't control. You become a mirror that doesn't respond, a figure that doesn't react as expected and that disarms them. Machiavelli didn't just talk about governing nations, he talked about governing yourself, leading your emotions like a king leads his army. Every time you choose not to get upset, you're gaining ground, not outside, but inside. And that internal territory is the most difficult to conquer, but also the most invincible. There are moments when losing control seems inevitable, but that's where your strategy is measured. Anyone can be strong when everything goes well. The true strategist is revealed when everything trembles and he remains calm. Machiavelli knew it. External chaos is inevitable, but internal order is a choice. You choose if you surrender control for a momentary emotion, or if you maintain focus to win the complete war. Breathe, observe, and remember, calm is not weakness. It's emotional superiority, true domination, and awakening. Many seek to dominate the other, but few understand that the true form of domination is making the other reveal themselves without you having shown yourself. Machiavelli didn't teach vulgar manipulation, he taught subtle direction, silent influence, invisible control. You don't shout, you don't force, you don't beg. You simply are with presence, with intention, with a firmness that needs no explanation. And that's what transmits most power. Maybe you still doubt. Maybe you think this level of dominance is cold, distant, inhuman, but it's not. It's clarity, it's protection, it's self-love well administered. Machiavelli never spoke of being cruel for pleasure. He spoke of being effective in a world that doesn't forgive naivety. And you are no longer naive. Now you see, now you feel with intelligence, you act with intention, and you choose with strategy. That doesn't make you less human, it makes you more conscious. If you made it this far, you're no longer the same. Something inside you awakened. A part that was asleep, the part that doesn't react, but observes, that doesn't despair, but calculates. That's the part that dominates, the one Machiavelli wanted to activate in you. It's not about living without emotions, it's about not living enslaved to them. Today, you know that true power doesn't shout, doesn't impose itself, doesn't exhibit itself. It's felt, it's projected, and is born from within. Thank you for making it this far. Thank you for having awakened. Now it's no longer about understanding the rules. It's about using them with firmness, with coldness, with wisdom, because whoever dominates their inner world can dominate any situation.